Hello, this is David Shore. It is March the 27th, 2020. I am in South Bend, Indiana. Right now I am out, but we have a stay-at-home order from Governor Holcomb. But my reason for making this is quite simple. We are freaking out over this coronavirus. And I'd like to point a few things out. Number one, mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News. Will you please stop putting fear into people? Is it contagious? According to the CDC, yes. But we're supposed to do what's called practicing social distancing. Has any of you looked at places like Walmart, grocery stores like here in Indiana, Kroger and Martin's, and even Meijer? I don't see social distancing being practiced there. Are there people dying of this? Yes. Are you dying? Do you have the coronavirus? If you don't have this, or you don't know if you do, relax. I don't think that we're all going to die, that they're going to have people coming around and, locking you up, because as you can see, I'm outside. We have a stay-at-home order. But then again, I am homeless. There's a lot of homeless. Yet, there's groups like Brightpoint who says they'll help veterans. And even Senator Jackie Walorski, that's for veterans. If I understood her correctly, and if anybody knows about this from Indiana, please tell me, that said that certain either restrictions or requirements were going to be eased up for veterans. So if anyone knows about this, please tell me. Because they call it rental reasonableness, or rent reasonableness, which means a one-bedroom apartment, according to the area, should cost no more than $600 a month. This apartment I checked was for $180 a week. All utilities included, fully furnished. Now, I don't know if this applies to groups like Brightpoint. All I know is I'm still living at the Weather Amnesty in South Bend, Indiana. When that closes, I don't know where I'm going to go. But getting back to this, if you're over 60 and you have current underlying medical conditions, like you have the flu, you have heart problems, you have the flu or pneumonia, then the way I understand it, yes, you are more at risk to die from the coronavirus, or what's called Covid-19. Now, do I know these people are going to die? No. Right now, until someone can tell me what actually this is, let's just listen to the CDC, listen to the current administration, tell these mainstream media to stop putting fear that we're all going to die. You can see I'm still alive. What's going to happen next? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know if any of you know what's going to happen. We have the stimulus check, which, to my research, and if anybody has more information on this than me, please feel free to leave a comment down below. But currently, anyone who makes $75,000 or less will get the full $1,200. Couples, $2,400, and then $500 per child. Social Security payments, you'll get that. You'll get the $1,200. Now, the thing on defaulted student loans, which I have prior to 2020, there's mixed messages on that. It's like, yes, they will stop garnishments, but if it's from a private lender, they won't cover that. But also, if the government had taken over your student loan default, then you will be exempt. I don't know. You'll have to go online and find out for yourself who to contact on this. Will everyone get the check? Well, if you're making over $100,000 a year, no, you will not. But also, what about people who are retired? If they have millions of dollars, then they have money in the bank. They have money from their 401k, their pension, whatever. And they're $100,000, then no, they will not get a check. What if they get like $75,000, $78,000, $80,000 a year? Well, for every $100, they take $5 off of the $1,200. So you do the math how much they would actually get. But if you're washing your hands, you're practicing what they call social distancing, what the CDC and the World Health Organization and the Trump administration is saying is that you will be okay. So why isn't everyone being tested? I think that's a good question to ask the Trump administration. If we are all at risk for catching this COVID-19, shouldn't all of us be tested? I thought they passed a bill that, unless it's this stimulus bill, that all the testing would be paid for and that everyone can be tested. Why say, well, don't be tested? I'm here in hospitals, unless you show signs, they're not either not going to test you, or unless you ask, they won't test you. Some hospitals, like here in South Bend, Indiana, the Memorial Hospital, they test people for the COVID-19. I've known 2 people who went to the hospital, they tested negative for the COVID-19. Does that mean that they don't have it? According to the CDC and the World Health Organization, you may still have it and gotten a false result. Does that mean you're going to die? No. I can't say it. No one can say that. So, what am I getting at? It's this. Go about your lives. States like Indiana that have low numbers, they should let people go back to work. Just tell companies, open up your businesses, be limited maybe on the amount of people working there. If you can't have no more than 10 groups, 10 people to a group, I should say, then if you have a factory of, let's say, over 50 people, then do the groups of 10, 6 feet apart, if you're able to. If not, I don't know what to say. But what I can tell you is this is completely different. I don't know what COVID-19 is. I hear it attacks the respiratory system, and it has all the same signs as pneumonia. Because I've had walking pneumonia, and I've had problems breathing. What can I say to ease your mind? What did you do before this? What did you do with the swine flu? What did you do with Ebola? Did you freak out? Or did you just go about your lives? If you're washing your hands, which we should be doing all the time, like we were told as children, hey, wash your hands before you come to dinner, or wash your hands before you eat, or wash your hands after you sneeze, or something like that. Are we children? Are we going back to having to relearn what we have already done? We are being disrupted on something we know very little about. Blood plasma is now being considered on fighting COVID-19. Why not? We have antibodies in our system. Why not use the blood plasma? Right now, I would like them to do anything and everything they can. So, let's stop freaking out. Stop buying toilet paper. Could someone comment on below and tell me what the significance of the toilet paper is? I can understand the water. I can understand the hand sanitizer, the hand wipes. What is it about the toilet paper? What, you're going to have a whole basement full of toilet paper but no food? Because that's all I'm hearing is people fighting over toilet paper. Why didn't get non-perishable food, do like 2 weeks of grocery shopping? Make sure you have plenty for 2 weeks for like a family of 4. I know there's larger families, but I'm just using average. Just watch what you're doing. And let's just get through this. I mean, the sooner we get through it, the sooner we can get our lives back to normal. But above all, stop thinking that this is like a zombie apocalypse, that these are the end times. We're all going to be dying. Do you see people falling in the streets? Do you see people walking like zombies? I mean, I'd like to bring this to some people's attention, and you know who you are, the ones that sneeze, the ones that cough without covering their mouths. You know, that's really rude. You know, you're supposed to go like that. Why don't you? If you have a handkerchief, do that. Do you have to wash your hands after? Of course. But do everyone a favor. Don't do that. Don't be behind someone and all of a sudden sneeze and you haven't covered your mouth. No one knows who has it and who doesn't. I'll tell you right now. I don't know who does and who doesn't have this, but I don't want to catch it. But even if I do, I'm not going to worry I'm going to die. I'm going to live my life. There's a country singer that sang a song, "Live Like You Were Dying." Live like this was your last day on earth. What would you do? If you knew you had COVID-19, what would you do? Would you sit there and just wallow in self-pity? Or would you want to do something to help others? If you have COVID-19 and you are quarantined, self-quarantined or quarantine period, make a video and send it. Tell us what is going on. Those that survive, post your video. Tell people what you experienced. I saw some and I'm glad. Whatever it takes to ease the public's mind. Because I'm going to say right now, I'm tired of being in a situation whereby, like, South Bend, Indiana is closed down. We have a couple of places that's open, carry out, but for the most part, it's all closed down. Is this how we have to live our lives? Listen to the CDC, listen to the World Health Organization, listen to President Trump. Don't believe everything that mainstream media tells you. Haven't you ever noticed that they find the worst? And yet, if you look at the numbers, it's a little over 1,000 people that have died from this. Yes, we have, it's over 80,000 people who have been infected. Do we have to freak out because 80,000 have died? Yes. Should we freak out if 80,000 have been infected? No. That only means that out of 400 million, 80 to 85,000 have become infected. So look at those numbers. 400 million, which last I checked was the count of the total population of the United States. You have 86,000. And only a little over 1,000, maybe 1,500 have died. If you look at those numbers, that's low. And good majority of them, about 99% of them, were over 60 with pre-existing health conditions like COPD, the flu, pneumonia, heart problems, lung problems. So if you don't have any of that, stay home, get well, and move on. And to John Schneider, thank you for what you have been doing. You have been what I would say the voice of reason. There are others who are also doing the same thing. Thank you. The celebrities that are telling you, relax, take it easy, don't worry. If you just take a deep breath and stop freaking out every time the president says something and then the mainstream media makes it sound like we're all going to die, that the president doesn't care. What about the stimulus package? Now, like I said, not everyone will get it. But if the president says anyone under $75,000, they'll receive it regardless of defaulted loans or whatever. The way I understand that is they are given an order not to touch that money, that they are to wait until this thing is over. So let me just end with this. Use common sense. If you're healthy, you're walking around, thank God, thank the Creator, whatever you call God, you have a blessing. You get to see another day. How many people didn't? How many people did not make it last night? Not just under COVID-19, but just, it was their time. And how many are still walking around? And to the mainstream media, like Rachel Maddow, shut up. Get on the program. Stop blaming this president for everything under the sun. It is time that we all pull together, not pull each other apart. Because I'm sick and tired of people acting like this is the end of the world, this is the zombie apocalypse, that we're all going to die, and that the dead is going to rise and attack the living. You know, even if it was. Here's something that if you didn't come to terms with. If it is a zombie apocalypse and you saw a family member come back to life, could you be the one to put that family member down? This is not the zombie apocalypse. You want proof? There's still people out. Still people going about their lives, going to their jobs, going to the store, paying their bills. Those that can able to, that haven't lost their jobs due to the COVID-19, sorry. So if that's the case, then guess what? If we just practice what they're saying, guess what's going to happen? Funny thing, we're going to get through it, and we're going to look back and say, what was I freaking out for? Why was I panicked over something that I had no control over? Now I'm going to say one last thing, and it's called the Serenity Prayer. It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And for those that are saying, well, I might die. So what can you do about it now? What can you do to prevent that from happening? You're already given the answers. Don't freak out if you do not like the way it's worded. Ask questions. Who knows? We'll all get through this together. And to President Trump, thank you. Jackie Walorski, thank you. How many Democrats are working to actually ease the minds of their constituents? And how many are instilling fear? Now, if anyone has heard a Republican instilling fear, please post a link to that video. Let me see it. Let me see for my own eyes. This is David Shore from South Bend, Indiana. And hopefully, I will see you again very soon. And hopefully, we'll all have a good laugh on this later, but also learn that we got but just a short time on this planet. Let's not fight. Let's work together, help each other, especially the less fortunate, to get off the streets, end homelessness, end hunger, and stop listening to our politicians who are instilling fear. And one final thing, and these are to all the politicians, including President Trump. We, like myself, are your boss, not the other way around. It says we the people, not we the government. Remember that, because if not, if there is an election this year, we will vote whoever it is, Republican, Democrat, or Independent, we will vote you out of there as a signal. We are your boss. We are the ones calling the shots. And we have to remember that. And remember this final saying, freedom isn't free. And Benjamin Franklin said this, they who would give up essential liberties to attain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. That is a direct quote. This is David Shore.